And then there's my friend Mike, and then there's two girls. So I'm not really sure how I fit into this story, but so I'm there, and these girls were like British or something, or Australian, I don't know. But I was kind of freaked out because I felt like I encroached like on their date, but it's like my boyfriend, so I was like, oh my God. So anyway, I get there, and I'm like, this is kind of random. So I'm sitting there, and I'm like, oh my God, I have to absorb this because am I actually seeing this? So I remember it was in March, so it was like March Madness was on, and he totally goes ape if I would change the channel on March Madness. So I'm just sitting there, and the girl says, oh my God, basketball's so boring. Can I change this? You know, like, that's probably not the right accent because she was British, so it was like, so boring. Can I change this? So he says, yeah, sure, whatever you want. I'm like, what? Oh my God, he would have smacked me up the side of the head if I did that. So I'm like, nice. So anyway, he goes to the kitchen, and the girls are like, oh, I need another gin and tonic. So he goes, he's making these gin and tonics, and he gets a beer for himself, not offering me anything. So I'm like, okay, so this is random. This is totally awkward. So after like being completely ignored, the one girl drapes over my boyfriend and is like, oh my God, who is the ice princess? And I was like, you gotta be kidding me. I'm his girlfriend. At least I thought I was. So anyway, and by the way, this is my first love, and it's like my boyfriend of 3 years. So anyway, so she says, who's this? And I said, Frank, he says, oh, this is, and he leaves out the word girlfriend. This is Bridget. And so I pull him aside. I'm like, who are these lovely gems that you met? And he's like, oh, Bridget, be cool. I just met him at a bar. Oh my God. So anyway, I completely freak out. I'm like, this. So I'm like, I can't believe this. He's like, oh my God, what? Are you kidding me? What's the big deal? I'm like, all right, dude, I'm out of here. I'm like, so I took my coat, and I was waiting for him to say the typical, like, Frank, oh my God, what's wrong? Stay. But he didn't. He actually said, okay, I'll walk you there. What a gentleman. So I'm like, nice. So I start flying down the loft stairs, down his like cold, drafty, arrogant, pretentious steps to his New York loft. And so while I'm doing that, I'm like fishing around for my lighter and like my cigarette, because if I don't, I'm gonna pass out. I just need to hail the out of the cigarette. So anyway, I'm down on the street, and he's running after me. Ooh, Bridget, hold on. Too late. So anyway, I get to the subway, and I'm ready to go right back to Penn Station, where I was probably only a half an hour ago. So I'm walking down the steps. I'm bawling. I'm completely a wreck. I'm shaking. And he says, Bridget, wait. He grabs my hand. I look up at him, and I'm totally a mess. And I'm like, what? Bridge, you can't smoke down there. I was done. So I'm like, oh my God. So I'm just like, are you, what? So I try to keep it together, although I'm not keeping it together. And so I'm like, oh my God. So I run down the steps. I'm about to bawl, and I get onto the subway back to Penn Station, and all of a sudden I look across from me, and there he is, like opposite of me on the station, or on the train, on the subway, right? Not only was I completely appalled that he was actually taking me back to Penn Station, because he's such a gentleman, but I looked at his hand, and in his lap, he had a novel, and I was like, you remember to grab a book to walk me back to the train station so you had some reading material on the way back? Holy shit. And that's really pretty much the story. So I was completely appalled.